Welcome to the MLS Sunday Review, where we take you through all of the matches that happened in the Matchweek number 5. We'll hear from some of the coaches, go through the final scores, take a peek at the standings, and get you ready for soccer down here on Monday, where we talk about Atlanta United and the loss in Columbus by the 6-1 score once again. That'll be at 9:05, and we'll go from 9:05 till 11:05, going through Atlanta United, going through the rest of Major League Soccer, and going through the news of the day on Soccer's Morning Show. So let's run you through the final scores in Matchweek number 5. And in order, it is Portland and Los Angeles. The early start seems to be dictating that there won't be a whole lot of goals scored. This one was on Big Fox, in addition to our friends at Apple. Goalless draw with Portland and the LA Galaxy. Charlotte and Red Bulls, that one ends up at a 1-1 draw, with goals on the board by Elias Manuel to give Red Bulls a 1-0 lead in the 43rd, then an own goal that equaled things up at 1-1. That would be your score after 90 minutes. Now we catch up with Christian Lattanzio in his post-match, where he got to talk about the return of one of the more anticipated stars in Charlotte, Vinicius Melo, and what it was like to have him back on the pitch, courtesy of our friends at Charlotte Football Club, their own cell.
Obviously, you guys were in need of a shot in the arm in the second half, and Vinny Melo comes in and delivers that beautiful cross. I saw you give him a hug. I mean, how happy were you for him tonight that he had his moment?
Very, very happy, because Vinny is a guy that is a young guy, very talented, as everybody could see. We couldn't have him last year for a number of reasons, mainly because he got injured twice. And so it's tough for a young guy coming from different country that is learning the language, is learning the culture, and that he cannot play. So he went through tough moments, but credit to him and all the lads that supported him, but that we got him back to where he belong. And I think he could be a very, very important player for us, but generally speaking, a very important player. He has many qualities, and it's great that he came on and he found that pass, but we know that he can find even other passes, another way of playing the ball. He plays with a lot of confidence, belief, because he's conscious of his strength, of his ability. So delighted for him, really delighted.
Just to follow up, you mentioned the injuries. I think he had a chest injury to start this season
as well.
How was his temperament and attitude? Was he kind of how hard was it for him to stay positive, or did he stay positive throughout?
Yeah. His attitude is always good. He's a guy that is an introvert, but he's also understandable when you don't. When you are in a different country where you are still learning, as I repeat, the language and the culture. But he's a guy that comes to training, you can see that he has passion and love for the game, and I think that there is a lot more to come from him.
Also an early start, New England over DC United by the score of 2-1. And in that particular match, you had 3 players under the age of 18 starting for New England, one of them a Massachusetts native, and he went buck wild. Game winner for New England as they got the win by the score of 2-1. Also, Chicago in another wild match, getting the win over Miami by the score of 3-2. Goals on the board by Mueller and Tehran gave Chicago a 2-0 lead in Fort Lauderdale. Didn't stand up. Goal by Negri at 45 plus 3. Goal by Stefanelli in the 76, tied it at 2. Then at 90 plus 2, Kai Kamara scores for the 16th MLS season in a row. 3-2 Chicago Fire over Inter Miami. Also on the board in your early starts, it was Orlando over Philadelphia. Both teams missing 7 players or more. Orlando missing 7 and Philadelphia missing 8 through injury and U20 and international call-ups. So that one got the Orlando full points there with the 2-1 win. In that one, Orlando jumped out to a 2-0 lead after the first 9 minutes. Goals by Ojeda and Angulo. And then Pereira scored in the 17th, and that was it. 2-1, Orlando gets the win over Philadelphia. Also on the board, your starts in the Central Time Zone, it was Austin and Colorado, a 1-1 draw by the time that it was done. Let's hear from Josh Wolff, courtesy of our friends at Austin FC, their own selves. And the questions started out with the issues at the back and how he tried to address them with his starting lineup. With the 1-1 draw and the goal by Cabral in the 85th, went from an Austin 1-0 lead, John Gallagher scoring, to a 1-1 draw and shared results. Once again, courtesy of Austin FC, their own selves.
The starting 11, it was kind of a surprise for me.
Which position?
The back, everything on the back. I didn't understand if Lima was center back because I saw him. Mm-hmm. Do you plan the rotation on the center back? I mean, on the defense, the whole defense.
Yeah, we don't have a center back at the moment, so I think Kip is thankfully he's gotten some minutes last night. I think that's really important for him. Amro's in a similar place. We got to get him moving in the right direction where he mentally feels good about what he's doing. Physically, he feels good about what he's doing. So, given where we're at, Leo's gone, Julio's hurt, Alex is filling in. I think doing a great job, and Nick tonight had to fill in at center back. We had him do it in Violetta also. Nick is grinding. He's had a bad high ankle sprain since the Violetta, the first game on the turf. He was struggling through it there, but again, we didn't have many other options. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough piecing that together along the back line. It's not what we would ideally want, but it's what we have right now. We have to run with it. I thought the guys were gutsy. They grinded. It was gritty. It wasn't our best performance by any stretch of the imagination, but Colorado makes it tough. They're physical. They get set pieces. They build momentum mostly off those set pieces. I like how our guys dug in and were able to keep them off the board on set pieces. It was challenging. They're as good as they get in this league for the last couple of years. They got us a couple times over the last couple of years, so we were able to hold on in that way. But it was challenging. Obviously, I think you could see we fatigued, looked tired as the game went on, and it was a tie. I'd say we were fortunate to get the tie.
And about Bruin and Redes, you are trying to give them minutes, or you are trying to find who can be there on the initial 11?
Well, I think it's trying to get guys opportunities. But in this game, of course, I'd love to bring on Maxi, but that set pieces I think we got to respect what they are on set pieces. And Will keeps the level of physicality, and they put a lot into their set pieces, and Will gives us some physicality that I think Maxi doesn't, so that was one of the reasons for that. Rodney, the left side, we had that change coming before the goal. We could see Z was struggling, and physically it was a big load for him, as it has been at the beginning of the year, so we just wanted to get some freshness in, especially for that left side, and we just weren't able to get it in there quick enough. But again, the guys compete. It was a grind, not the result that we probably want or expect to have here at home. But from a point standpoint, we're not far off from where we were last year at the start of the season. Obviously, we feel better about some of the bigger score lines, but we got work to do like everybody. It's a long year, and we got to get a little bit of a breather. I think that'll do the guys some good in a shorter week, and we'll get ready for our next opponent in a couple weeks.
Point on the board for Austin, and the matches in the Central Time Zone continued with Houston getting the win over NYC by the score of 1-0. PK by Bossi in the 55th, and that was the difference. Let's hear from Ben Olsen, courtesy of the Dynamo, their own selves.
So we just had Coach Cushing here, and he talked about how the game, he saw it was pretty equal. Maybe should have been a draw, but obviously the penalty was very decisive, obviously, to leave it at 1-0. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's okay. Look, he's done a good job with that team. They've got a really good thing going on there, and they're a good squad, and that's why I'm thrilled that we put on the performance that we did, and we're able to get another win here at home for our fans, and we've talked a lot about being, making sure we protect this place. We know what that means. If you do a good job of winning the home games here, it gives yourself a really good shot at being in the postseason. So to get 2 home games, 6 points, some shutouts, that's a big deal. And to shut that team out on the board, that's a very rare thing to do. They can score. They've got real attacking pieces, real attacking ideas. And I was proud of the group. I thought the subs came in and did a really good job. It wasn't easy. They continued to bring firepower. We got to punish them for how aggressive they were towards the end and maybe finish them off in the way that we did against Austin. But other than that, I mean, the effort was just, fantastic tonight.
Also, 8:30 start, Seattle putting 4 on Sporting Kansas City, and all 4 of them came from one place. Jordan Morris goes for the hat trick +1. He got the quad. 23rd, 54th, 69th, and 77th. And you also had a goal from Agata that gave Kansas City the 1-0 lead. Kansas City had to play with 10 for basically the final 30 minutes after a Ben Sweat red in the 63rd. 2 of the Morris goals were scored after that. So let's hear from Brian Schmetzer and Jordan Morris after the big win, 4-1 over Sporting Kansas City, courtesy of the Sounders their own selves.
What can you say about the fight back and the exquisite day for Morris?
Well, it's just funny how coaching goes, because we had messaged all week at coming here to Sporting, which is a tough place to play, tough building to play in. Peter was going to have his team ready. They hadn't had good results. They were going to be desperate. They were going to come out on the front foot. We messaged that all week long, and sure enough, in the first 4.5 minutes, they were on top of us, and they scored the first goal. So that's coaching sometimes. Then I think the team settled in a little bit. We started to find some possession, but it still took us like 20, 25, 30 minutes almost before we really found our footing. And again, that's credit to Sporting. But then once we got the equalizer, I could tell the team was getting a little bit more confident. Jordan certainly has been on a tear to start the year. So, credit to him. I thought Leo Chu obviously came on and provided some good play down the left wing. Nico's assists. Overall, I was very proud of the way the team responded in a tough building.
All right, Jeremiah, give me permission to talk now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, it seemed like you guys were able to play a much more aggressive game on the road than we've seen. Like you were counter-pressing, you were doing sort of all the stuff that you're used to doing. Was that the plan coming in all along, to just kind of go for it like that?
Well, Jeremiah, you've heard me enough. We try and play the same as we do at home on the road. So I wouldn't say it was any more one way or the other. I just think today we were able to execute again after the first 30 minutes, because I didn't think we pressed well the first 30 minutes at all. So once we found our footing, once we found the game a little bit, some of the pressing was a little bit better. But I would credit the game more for our attacking, our ability to, attack Kansas City in moments. That to me was a difference, not necessarily where we pressed or how we pressed.
Congratulations, Jordan. It seemed like you were teaching the crowd how to count there after the fourth one. Can you talk about maybe how much, it seemed you were having a lot of fun. So can you talk a little bit about, the goal scoring tonight?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel a little bad about this celebration. Like, that's definitely not me. They're a tough fan base. They're kind of jeering at us all game. And for me, I know that whenever we come here, they kind of give it to us. So I don't know, that just came out of me after that one. But it was, I feel a little bad about that one, to be honest. But, I think obviously it was a amazing team performance after going down 1-0. We know that we haven't had the best record on the road recently. And when that goal went in, we could have kind of imploded a little bit. And I think it's just a testament to the group and the mentality that we went the other way. And, it was really just a fantastic team effort, the way we controlled the game. And it was a great result. So we got to build on this and keep playing like this on the road.
Thank you, Jordan. Jeremiah, go ahead.
Yeah, Jordan, obviously, congratulations on this, but you haven't played up top a ton lately. What was your mindset going in, just as playing as a true forward? Obviously, you have a lot of experience with it previously.
Yeah, definitely somewhere I played before, and for me, it was a lot of our focus was for Nico and I defensively, how we could kind of handle the six, manage him, and doing a good job with that. So first and foremost on the road, I think that was a big part of the game, and it's a little bit different than pressing as a winger, obviously. So just managing that and understanding my responsibilities with that. And then again, doing what I try to do best, which is stretch teams and make space underneath for Nico, for Albert. Obviously Leo playing out wide had a really, really good game. And for me, when he got the ball or anyone out wide got the ball, it was to be the guy in the box and try and get on the end of things. So, that was my goal. They're an aggressive team. They play a high line at times. And so, again, just trying to stretch that and get behind and work my way into the box.
Minnesota and Vancouver ended up as a 1-1 draw. And in this one, you'll hear from Adrian Heath, the head coach of Minnesota United, and he was not happy. Got a goal from Garcia in the 40th for a 1-0 lead, but basically goal scored by Vancouver at the last kick of the game at 90+8. Shared results, once again, courtesy of Minnesota United. Here's Adrian Heath.
Adrian, it looked like there were 6 minutes of stoppage time. It looked like you guys played more than 7. Did you get an explanation for why it went over?
No.
You had your hands up. It looked like you clearly thought it should have been dead.
Like you, 6 went up. We played 7-23, apparently. So.
Adrian, do you feel like that's just a hard way to be done by, given the effort that you guys had?
Well, you do when it's so late, and it's they were pushing. We knew it was going to be a tough game for us with what's gone on today. But when I look at the performances of people like Brent Coleman and DJ Taylor and Cameron Dunbar and Iwi, who's been injured for so long and coming on, and I just wanted to for the players to get the reward of getting over the line, because there's 5 or 6 of them were running on fumes at the end, and I thought they deserved to take something from it. It's always disappointing when it is the last kick of the game.
Was there anything more you could have done, Adrian, in the second half to sort of hold the dam, if you will, or do anything to kind of keep the ball outside of your own box?
Well, there's always things you can do, but you try and do them. But when people are tired, you rely on getting in a defensive block and hoping that you can, keep clearing the ball and defend and maybe catch them on the break. I don't think we did enough on the break because we had good moments. But as I say, when I look at where we were this time last week and knew what was going to be coming this week, I think it's been a magnificent effort from a lot of players who are extremely tired and have not played 90 minutes. That's the first 90 minutes DJ's played. Iwi's been injured for 3 or 4 months, 5 months maybe. Hasn't played 90 minutes. Cameron Dunbar hasn't played 90 minutes. So Masani's coming back from 10 months. So for the effort that they put in, I thought Clint came in and was excellent. I thought BK as the game wore on and we were having to defend deeper and deeper and defend crosses, I thought BK was exceptional in the last 20, 25 minutes.
What did you think in particular of the young guys, many of whom made their debuts tonight?
Well, they'll certainly be better for it. They, the getting into the game and the emotion of what comes with it, and it's a big step up, whatever anybody thinks. Playing second team football, then going up to the first team, the intensity, mentally and physically, is completely different. Some of these will never played against some of the power and the pace of these people that they played against tonight. And I thought most of them stood up to it really, really well.
Aside from the stoppage time being extended, any thoughts on that last second goal specifically?
No, not at the moment. I'll have to have a look.
Also on the board in Matchweek number 5, FC Cincinnati over Nashville by the score of 1-0. Brandon Vasquez scoring early, and it held up. St. Louis continues their hot start. As you look on their social media, it was Flight 500 leaving Rio Tinto, and it did 4-0. And for the 3rd week in a row, it was once again a pass that was supposed to be intended from one teammate to another for the visitors, for the team playing against St. Louis, and it ended up with a Klaus opportunity. 2 goals, 5 minutes apart. Gioacchini in the 47th, Klaus 2 minutes apart, 61 and 66, and Alm scoring in the 76th. So St. Louis gets the 4-0 win over RSL to continue their run at the top of the table in the West. LAFC over FC Dallas by the score of 2-1. A lot of folks thought that Dennis Bouanga wouldn't be able to make it from international play. 13-hour flight, came back, scores the game winner in the 84th. Goal by Tillman in the 3rd was equaled by a goal by Nkosi Tafari in the 73rd. And then Bouanga comes in, scores in the 84th. 2-1 win for LAFC. against FC Dallas. Tomasi had a red card that also had to be navigated by FC Dallas for a majority of the play as well from the first half. And so LAFC finally got the game-winning goal, and it was Dennis Bouanga on a 13-hour flight that made that one happen. Last game on the board, San Jose and Toronto had a goalless draw in PayPal Park for your late match. So here's how things go in the Eastern Conference. New England Revolution now on top with 12 points over FC Cincinnati, who have 3 wins and 2 draws in their first 5. They're at 11. Atlanta United is at 10 points through 5 matches. Orlando City at 8. Columbus, Crew, Nashville, New York City, each with 7, each at 5, 2, and 2. And it goes down to goals scored. Columbus right now with 11 hold the tiebreaker over Nashville and NYC. And a goal difference, Columbus with a +3, Nashville a +2, NYC at a -1. So that's why Columbus is in 5th, Nashville's in 6th, NYC is in 7th, +3, +2, -1. Philadelphia, and they have only 6 points through their first 5 matches at 2 and 3. Inter Miami also at 6 points. They are at 2 and 3. Below the playoff bar in 10th, it is Toronto at 6 points at 1-1 and 3, goal difference of +1. Red Bulls at 1-1 and 3, goal difference of 0, 4 goals scored, 4 against. Chicago Fire with the win. They go up to 5 points. DC United at 4 along with Charlotte. And FC Montreal at 4 matches played. They have a record of 1 and 3. In the West, St. Louis, 15 points, perfect through their first 5. Seattle and LAFC have 10 points through their first 5 and 4 matches, respectively. Minnesota has 8 points through their first 4. Dallas, Austin, San Jose each have 7. Houston Dynamo have 6. Portland Timbers at 4 points. Then below the playoff bar, RSL, Vancouver, LA Galaxy, Sporting Kansas City, and Colorado, who have scored only twice and have given up 8 goals in their first 5 matches this season. So that's your standings in the conferences, and that gets us through match week number 5. And we'll go through and get the schedule ready as we're all taking a peek at the international window. And the next matches do not occur until Saturday, April 1st. And it's Atlanta and New York Red Bulls that start things off. No daytime action. You have a lot of 7:30s, and you have a couple of 8:30s, a 9:30, and 2 games out west with Houston at San Jose, Montreal at Vancouver. That's another round of the Sunday review. And we'll be back once again, SDH, Monday morning, 9:05, to talk about Columbus Crew and Atlanta United. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Stay dry, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you Monday morning.